Here is a comprehensive summary of A Free Market, The History of an Idea by Jacob Soll. Introduction. A Free Market, The History of an Idea by Jacob Soll traces the evolution of the concept of the free market from its origins to its current form. Soll provides a historical and intellectual exploration of the development of free market ideas, examining how they have been interpreted and applied over time. The book delves into the philosophical, economic, and political influences that have shaped the notion of the free market and its role in modern society. Chapter 1: The Ancient Roots of Free Market Ideas. The idea of the free market can be traced back to ancient civilizations. In ancient Greece, thinkers like Aristotle and Plato discussed the role of commerce and trade in society. While Aristotle was skeptical of the moral implications of commerce, he recognized its necessity. Plato, on the other hand, envisioned a society where trade was regulated to maintain social order. Ancient Rome also contributed to the development of market ideas, with a more practical approach to trade and commerce that laid the groundwork for later economic thought. Chapter 2: Medieval and Renaissance Market Concepts. During the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church's teachings influenced economic thought, particularly through the lens of morality and ethics. Scholastic thinkers like Thomas Aquinas integrated Aristotle's ideas with Christian doctrine, advocating for just prices and the moral implications of commerce. The Renaissance brought a revival of classical ideas, and thinkers like Machiavelli and Montaigne began to explore the practical aspects of commerce and statecraft. This period saw the early development of ideas about market regulation and the role of the state in economic affairs. Chapter 3: The Birth of Modern Economic Thought. The early modern period marked the beginning of modern economic thought, with significant contributions from thinkers like Adam Smith, John Locke, and David Hume. Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations, 1776, is often considered the foundational text of modern economics, advocating for the benefits of free markets and the invisible hand that guides them. Smith argued that individuals pursuing their self-interest would lead to overall economic prosperity. John Locke's ideas on property rights and individual liberty also influenced free market thought, emphasizing the importance of private ownership and limited government intervention. Chapter 4: The Industrial Revolution and Economic Liberalism. The Industrial Revolution brought significant economic and social changes, leading to the rise of economic liberalism. Thinkers like David Ricardo and Thomas Malthus expanded on Smith's ideas, exploring issues like comparative advantage and population growth. Ricardo's theory of comparative advantage provided a strong argument for free trade, suggesting that nations should specialize in producing goods where they have a relative efficiency. Malthus, however, raised concerns about the potential negative effects of unchecked population growth on resources and living standards. Chapter 5: The 19th Century and Classical Economics. The 19th century saw the consolidation of classical economics, with figures like John Stuart Mill and Alfred Marshall refining and expanding upon earlier ideas. Mill's Principles of Political Economy, 1848, combined classical economics with social philosophy, advocating for both economic freedom and social justice. Alfred Marshall's work on supply and demand, marginal utility, and equilibrium helped establish the foundations of modern microeconomics. This period also saw the rise of socialism and critiques of the free market, with thinkers like Karl Marx challenging the capitalist system and its impact on workers and inequality. Chapter 6: The Early 20th Century and the Rise of Keynesian Economics. The early 20th century brought significant economic upheavals, including the Great Depression, which led to a re-evaluation of free market principles. John Maynard Keynes emerged as a leading figure in economic thought, advocating for government intervention to stabilize economies. Keynes' The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, 1936, argued that markets could fail to achieve full employment and that active fiscal and monetary policies were necessary to manage economic cycles. Keynesian economics dominated post-World War II economic policy, leading to the development of the welfare state and increased government involvement in the economy. Chapter 7: The Post-War Consensus and the Welfare State. The post-war period saw a broad consensus around Keynesian economics and the welfare state. Governments in many Western countries implemented policies aimed at achieving full employment, economic growth, and social welfare. This period was characterized by relatively high levels of government spending and regulation, with an emphasis on redistributing wealth and providing social safety nets. However, by the 1970s, economic challenges such as stagflation, a combination of high inflation and high unemployment, led to a questioning of Keynesian policies and a resurgence of free market ideas. Chapter 8: The Neoliberal Revolution. The late 20th century saw the rise of neoliberalism, a revival of classical liberal ideas emphasizing free markets, deregulation, and limited government intervention. Figures like Milton Friedman and Friedrich Hayek played key roles in this intellectual movement. Friedman's work on monetary policy and his advocacy for free market solutions influenced policymakers around the world. Hayek's The Road to Serfdom, 1944, warned against the dangers of central planning and argued for the preservation of individual liberty through free markets. Neoliberal ideas gained political traction with leaders like Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, who implemented policies aimed at reducing government intervention and promoting market-driven growth. Chapter 9: The Globalization of Free Market Ideas. The end of the Cold War and the spread of globalization further accelerated the adoption of free market policies worldwide. The fall of communism in Eastern Europe and the opening of China's economy marked a significant shift towards market-oriented reforms. International institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank promoted free market policies as a path to economic development. Global trade agreements and the rise of multinational corporations also contributed to the integration of global markets and the spread of free market principles. Chapter 10: The 21st Century and the Critiques of Neoliberalism. The 21st century has seen increasing scrutiny and criticism of neoliberalism and free market policies. The 2008 global financial crisis highlighted the risks of deregulated financial markets and the potential for systemic failures. Critics argue that neoliberal policies have contributed to rising inequality, environmental degradation, and economic instability. Movements advocating for more sustainable and inclusive economic models have gained prominence, challenging the dominance of free market ideology. Chapter 11: The Future of Free Market Ideas. The future of free market ideas is uncertain, as the world faces new challenges and changing economic paradigms. Issues like climate change, technological disruption, and growing inequality require innovative solutions that may involve rethinking the role of markets and government intervention. Some economists and policymakers advocate for a new synthesis that combines the strengths of free markets with the need for regulation and social protection. The debate over the balance between market freedom and government oversight continues to shape economic thought and policy in the 21st century. Conclusion. A Free Market: The History of an Idea, by Jacob Soll, provides a comprehensive and nuanced exploration of the evolution of free market thought. From ancient civilizations to modern economic debates, Soll traces the intellectual and practical development of free market ideas, highlighting their impact on societies and economies. The book underscores the complexity of economic thought and the ongoing debates over the role of markets in achieving prosperity and addressing social challenges. Key themes and takeaways. 1. Historical evolution. The book traces the historical development of free market ideas, showing how they have evolved and been interpreted over time. This historical perspective provides valuable context for understanding contemporary economic debates. 2. Intellectual foundations. Soll examines the contributions of key thinkers to free market thought, from Aristotle and Adam Smith to John Maynard Keynes and Milton Friedman. Understanding these intellectual foundations is crucial for grasping the complexities of economic theory. 3. Economic and social impact. The book highlights the impact of free market ideas on economic growth, social structures, and political systems. It explores how free markets have contributed to prosperity, but also examines their limitations and potential downsides. 4. Government and regulation. A central theme of the book is the ongoing debate over the role of government in regulating markets. Soll explores different perspectives on the balance between market freedom and government intervention, providing insights into the challenges of economic policymaking. 5. Critiques and alternatives. The book addresses critiques of free market ideology, particularly in the context of neoliberalism and its impact on inequality, environmental sustainability, and financial stability. Soll discusses alternative economic models and the need for a more balanced approach to economic policy. 6. Future directions. The book speculates on the future of free market ideas in the face of emerging global challenges. Soll emphasizes the importance of adapting economic thought to address issues like climate change, technological disruption, and social inequality. Final thoughts. A Free Market, The History of an Idea by Jacob Soll is a thought-provoking and comprehensive exploration of one of the most influential concepts in economic history. By tracing the development of free market ideas from ancient times to the present, Soll provides readers with a deep understanding of the complexities and nuances of economic thought. The book is a valuable resource for anyone interested in economics, history, and the ongoing debates over the role of markets in shaping our world. This summary aims to capture the essence and key points of Jacob Soll's A Free Market, The History of an Idea, providing a broad overview of the book's content and insights.